Hello friends, welcome to Mentor Fluent YouTube channel. Audiobook summary of 101 all-time great stories with life-changing philosophies by Deep Trivedi. Episode 1. From the author's desk. In my experience, I have realized that narrating stories interlaced with humorous anecdotes with the best way to explain psychological perspective in a manner that people can grasp them instantly. They are easy to remember, and when it comes to instilling an idea into the innermost recesses of the mind, they are a matchless tool. At the same time, it is a harsh reality of life that man is bogged down with innumerable problems, be it physical ailments or psychological disturbance, matters of the world, family, or his work life. Man today is struggling to keep himself from falling apart. It is an unspoken truth that everyone wishes to be free of troubles and unhappiness. Several psychological guidelines in various forms have been enumerated by great men of wisdom to help man break free from the struggle of life. But it is not easy for everyone to acquire an in-depth understanding of these pearls of wisdom and use them to their benefit. In this context, taking a leaf from the book of my vast experience, the efficacy of this psychological learning when explained through the medium of stories and humorous anecdotes leave a far greater imprint on the mind of the reader. With this objective in mind, I have endeavored to highlight the psychological aspects of several popular stories and humorous anecdotes in an engaging manner. My aim in doing so is to not only rivet the attention of the reader but also make him delve deeper into the profundity of the message. Additionally, Additionally, I have penned many of the stories and humorous anecdotes myself. All in all, I am sure this interesting book 101 all time great stories with life changing philosophies will not only make for an enjoyable read but also bring about the necessary transformation in your life. It is with this hope that I present to you this treasure trove of short stories. Wow, Mullah, you are amazing. Mullah Nasruddin needs no introduction. He is perhaps the most compelling character of the folklore of the Middle East, an inhabitant of Turkey who probably lived around the 13th century. Mullah Nasruddin is the star of a mind-blowing array of stories transcending time, nationality, and culture. These stories range from simple jokes that elicit a quick laugh to those with behavioral and spiritual undertones, having a specific moral attached to them. The rib-tickling manner in which he would impact profound knowledge is unparalleled in the world. Now that I have introduced you to Mullah Nasruddin, let me also reveal another aspect of his maverick personality. Interestingly, neither did Mullah visit a mosque nor did never ever offer any prayers. The people in his neighborhood were so distressed by his unconventional behavior that they called Mullah an atheist and an infidel. One day they convened a meeting in which it was decided that they would meet Mullah and collectively persuade him to visit a mosque and offer prayers. In the evening, they set off to Mullah. They set off to Mullah's house and tried every trick in the book to convince him to visit the mosque and pray. Now Mullah was a smart man with a razor-sharp intellect. He patiently listened to them and then calmly spoke. Look, brothers, please don't expect me to visit the mosque, but since you all insist, I will certainly pray to Allah at least once a day. However, let me make this very clear. I will pray to Allah at my own convenience and in my own way. Pleased that their efforts had finally paid off, the neighbors immediately nodded in consent. They were happy that Mullah had at least agreed to pray, even if it was just once a day. It was so much better than not praying at all. Satisfied with their success, the neighbors left for their homes for a good night's sleep, but little did they know what Mullah had in store for them. At the stroke of midnight, a booming voice suddenly broke the stillness of the hour, waking up the entire neighborhood with a jolt. Sitting up on their beds and rubbing their eyes in bewilderment, people wondered who this lunatic cloud, who this lunatic could be, shouting at this unearthly hour. They could clearly hear a man's voice invoking God. "Oh Allah," cried the man, "please send me 100 dinars. I will not let you off the hook until you do so, until you send me 100 dinars. I will continue to offer my prayers to you in this manner every single night. And please remember, I will take 100 dinars only, not a single dinar less." Saying this, the man abruptly ended this prayer, and the eerie sound of the night had once again descended on the neighborhood. Hearing this strange prayer, people soon realized that the man was none other than the eccentric mullah who had chosen the hour to supplicate before Allah. Much to the dismay of the neighbors, this became a daily ritual. Every day, at the stroke of midnight, Mullah would step on to his terrace and with hands outstretched towards the sky, he would invoke Allah to grant him 100 dinars and not a single dinars less. He also made it a point to pray at the top of his voice. Mullah's strange prayer at the unearthly hour began to give the entire neighborhood sleepless nights. The neighbors now felt that an atheistic mullah was better than a lunatic one ranting in the middle of the night. Everyone now regretted having convinced him to pray. So once again they went to Mullah's house and requested him to stop his prayers. But Mullah was in no mood to relent and stubbornly said, "My brothers, now that I have begun praying, no one can stop me from continuing to do so. Only Allah can stop me praying by granting me 100 dinars." Now, why on earth would Allah grant Mullah 100 dinars? So the onus fell on the local residents themselves to find a solution to the problem. A meeting of all the local residents was held to deal with the issue of the scheming mullah. Several suggestions were offered during the meeting, but only one out of them seemed practical. The idea was that the neighbors would first collect 99 dinars, with each local resident contributing according to his capacity. One man would hide near the mullah's house at night with the pouch containing the dinars in his hand. The moment mullah finished his prayers, this man would toss the pouch of dinars over to his terrace. The neighbors were sure that on seeing only 99 dinars in the pouch, mullah would reject the money and throw the pouch back. After all, he had repeatedly declared that he would accept only 100 dinars and not a single dinar less. In this way, the locals would not only get their 99 dinars back, but they would also be free of Mullah's loud prayers for God. Mullah too would resign himself to Allah's will, assuming that he was not yet ready to grant him 100 dinars. The proposed plan was approved unanimously, and they all commended themselves for having devised a marvelous plan that would outwit the astute Mullah Nasruddin. At the stroke of midnight, Mullah went to the terrace and began praying loudly, as was his routine. The moment the prayer ended, the pouch filled with the 99 dinars was thrown on the terrace. Mullah was ecstatic on seeing the pouch. He instantly opened it and began counting the dinars. But to his disappointment, there were only 99 dinars in the pouch. He could not understand how Allah had sent him a dinar less when he had been extremely specific in his demand while praying, thinking that he had probably read. He counted the dinars again, but no, there were only 99 dinars. Mullah thought that since it was late in the night and he was feeling sleepy, he had probably made a mistake while counting. He shook his head vigorously, rubbed his eye, focused intently on the dinars, and began counting them again and again. But even after counting them thrice, there were only 99 dinars. Meanwhile, the local residents hiding in the darkness near Mullah's house heaved a huge sigh of relief. Everything was happening exactly in accordance with their plan. They were certain that the eccentric Mullah would reject the money as the pouch contained a dinar's less. Waiting expectantly in the shadows for the mullah to throw the pouch back. The residents were, however, in for a rude shock. After counting the dinars thrice, Mullah suddenly smiled, putting the dinars back in the pouch and lifting it high in the air. He shouted, "Oh Allah, you are such a professional. I just realized that you have charged me a dinar for the pouch." Still looking at the sky, he shook his head and smiled in mock disbelief. Then, with the pouch in one hand, he went inside, kept it in his cupboard, and went off to sleep. The local residents were aghast at this totally unexpected turn of events. Their meticulous plan had fallen apart. Their their hard-earned money had been lost, and even though Mullah had stopped praying, the residents were forced to spend another sleepless night, this time worrying about their money. The next morning, as soon as the sun rose, all of them gathered at Mullah's house. They wanted to know why Mullah had pocketed the 99 dinars when he had specifically asked for 100. Guffawing, Mullah replied, "Why worry over such a trivial matter? Really, this is not something new for you, is it? Tell me, do your offering ever reach Allah? Don't the malvious take your offering and mislead you, saying that Allah had not accepted your offering since they were not made with a pure heart? You don't utter a word against the Maulvis. So one of you should protest against me. Either I too have decided to keep your dinars for myself." Using this excuse that Allah had become professional and has charged me a dinar for the pouch. Moral: now no one knows whether the local residents understood the logic behind Mullah's action, but you should understand that no one of your offering at temples, mosque or church have ever reached God, and they never will. In fact, God is what He is precisely because all that He accepts are your pure and sincere emotions and nothing else. So why you are mindlessly squandering your hard-earned wealth in temples, mosques and churches? Instead, donate this wealth to the poor and needy. Then you can be certain that your offerings shall reach Allah. We will meet in next episode. Thank you.